You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Thursday, 9th day of March, 2023. And being Thursday, that means tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, is our members-only workshop. Of course, it's open to all members, but if you've been on the free trial and you actually want to be in the workshop tonight, go to eminifuturestrading.com, become a lifetime member, no recurring fees, no upsells, nothing to buy from us. Again, ever, no nonsense. You get 2 hours of live training every day in the live training room, unlimited one-on-one private mentoring, strategy that you learn and the indicators you own for life are fluid across all markets and all time frames. As a lifetime member, you receive the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts, all that and so much more. It's really the all-access pass to everything we do, everything we've ever done, and whatever we do in the future. Now, we do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. The first live broadcast is our live training room. That is reserved for members only and those taking their 1-week free trial. However, this week we are in the process of a 3-day open house. And so we actually streamed the entire live training room yesterday, today, and our plan is to stream again tomorrow, along with streaming on the TradingView platform, all at the same time. Now, the afternoon broadcast, the one you're listening to right now, is open to the public. That's everyone, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. Be a phone, a tablet, a PC, a Mac, doesn't matter. Now, there's 2 different ways to join the afternoon broadcast. The best way is to simply go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down to where it says afternoon broadcast. Click the link, complete the 30-second registration form, and you're done. Every trading day going forward, about an hour before this broadcast starts, you'll get an email. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it will automatically log you into our platform. Now, that's the best way because it gives you the access to the question box so that you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Now, of course, there'll be days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you still want to tune in live. You can do that. Just take that internet-connected device, phone, your tablet, wherever you are, and point your browser to our YouTube channel. It's pretty easy to remember. Everybody already knows youtube.com. Just put that in /CFRN. youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, we also archive every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,200 daily live broadcasts archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's really a good way to get to know not only who we are today, but who we've been over the years. You can scroll back 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years, even more, and just pick days at random and just listen to little snippets of the different days that you choose. What you'll find is a thread of connectivity, a thread of continuity woven through each and every daily broadcast. If it's not broke, don't try to fix it. But what we have done over the years, and especially in the last year, is we've worked very hard to make things very simple. If you're using the TradingView platform, it's as simple as when the arrow appears, you enter the trade. Really doesn't get much simpler than that. Let's open with a word of prayer. Easter is around the corner, and really Easter is the promise of forgiveness. Our scripture today is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 11 through 21. And I'm reading from the Message translation, and this is Paul writing to the church at Corinth. That keeps us vigilant, you can be sure. It's no light thing to know that we'll all one day stand in that place of judgment. That's why we work urgently with everyone we meet to get them ready to face God. God alone knows how well we do this, but I hope you realize how much and how deeply we care. We're not saying this to make ourselves look good to you. We just thought it would make you feel good, proud even, that we're on your side and not just nice to your face as so many people are. If I acted crazy, I did it for God. If I acted overly serious, I did it for you. Christ's love has moved me to such extremes. His love has the first and last word in everything we do. And then beginning in the 14th verse of this chapter, talks about a new life in Christ. Our firm decision is to work from this focused center. One man died for everyone. That puts everyone in the same boat. He included everyone in his death so that everyone could also be included in his life. A resurrection life. A far better life than people ever lived on their own. Because of this decision, we don't evaluate people by what they have or how they look. We looked at the Messiah that way once and got it all wrong, as you know. We certainly don't look at him that way anymore. Now we look inside. And what we see is that anyone united with the Messiah gets a fresh start, is created new. The old life is gone, a new life emerges. Look at it. All this comes from God, who settled the relationship between us and him, and then called us to settle our relationships with each other. God put the world square with himself through the Messiah, giving the world a fresh start by offering forgiveness of sins. God has given us the task of telling everyone what he is doing. We are Christ's representatives. God uses us to persuade men and women to drop their differences and enter into God's work of making things right between them. We're speaking for Christ himself now. Become friends with God. He's already a friend with you. How, you ask? In Christ. God put the wrong on him who never did anything wrong, so we could be put right with God. Again, that was 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 11 through 21, as we approach Easter, the promise of forgiveness. Now, this new life, anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone, a new life has begun. As the at-risk teenagers took their seats in the youth room, William bowed his head, breathed a silent prayer, and then spoke. Some people don't let me forget I've been in jail, he said. Sometimes I'm the one who doesn't let me forget all the bad things I've done. He held up his Bible, smiling. But God says he's given me a new life, and he's offering the same gift to you. Like William, some of us struggle to feel forgiven and accept the fact that we're rescued, redeemed, restored, new creations defined by our Savior's love for us, not by the sins that once bound us. The Apostle Paul, who considered himself the worst of sinners, affirmed that believers in Jesus needed to stop seeing people and Christ from a human point of view as new people or new creations who've been reconciled to God through Jesus' death and resurrection. Our sins are no longer counted against us. And having received this new identity, God's children become living ambassadors for Christ. Our past sins can't trap or tarnish us. When we focus on our insufficiencies instead of God's ever-sufficient grace, it's hard to live like we trust God. But even in that struggle, God can help us see ourselves as redeemed people who are called and empowered to live for Jesus, pointing others to the hope we have in Him. And that is truly the good news of the gospel. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, please help us all live as if we've truly received this new life. This new life that you've given us, and help us to encourage others to accept the new life you offer for anyone who places their trust in it. It's in Jesus' name that we believe and pray. And everybody said, Amen. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. Again, today's Thursday. Partners Workshop tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. That is members only. So if you've not yet become a lifetime member, go to eminifuturestrading.com. Get signed up so you have an invitation to tonight's workshop. Now we're going to start here in the U.S. Cash markets, or the indices as they're called. The Dow is down 25 points. The NASDAQ is up 6. The S&P 500 is down 2. And the Russell 2000 down 20. It's pretty quiet, thin trade. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 28 cents, trading 76.94 last. Gold up $12.20, trading 18.30 last. Silver up 2 pennies, trading 20.17 last. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei posted a gain of 178 points. The Shanghai dropped 7. The Hang Seng fell 125. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE down 49, the DAX up 1, the CAC down 8. Again, no real movers or shakers anywhere across the board. We had a mixed day in Asia. It was a mixed day for the UK. And everything just went red here in the US of A. Now, not deeply in the red. We had 3 of the major 4. Now, the NASDAQ's back to unchanged. So, it's walking a tightrope there. Most probably, the NASDAQ, the NQ, will eventually follow the S&P 500, but it's only down 3.5 points. There is one mover or shaker here in the U.S. That's the Russell, down 22 points, which is 1.25%. This week so far in Logic 247, as of 7 a.m. this morning when Valerie posted the recap, we're in week 240. Over those 240 weeks, we've published over 13,600 individual handcrafted alerts. Since the market opened Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, we've only issued 23 alerts due to market conditions. There have been Sunday nights when we've issued more alerts than that on a Sunday night because market conditions were conducive. We have no control over how the market behaves. We simply have to learn to recognize when the market is conducive to trading and when it's not. Of the 23 alerts issued as of 7 a.m. this morning, 3 never triggered, still waiting on 6. 14 actionable alerts, which 3 or 21% would have been stopped out based on not risking more than $300 per contract per trade, less when possible based on market structure, and a very simple 3-step process that we teach all of our passport holders in their unlimited one-on-one mentoring sessions. Now, the logic alerts are based on current price action, but each alert has time built in for the members and trial members to receive the alert, study the 30-minute chart, and be prepared to use your smaller time frame execution chart when price reaches the entry point, whether it's a long or short trade. The purpose of the alerts is simply to help you learn to spot those windows of opportunity in the market yourself. You don't want to spend the rest of your life depending upon someone else to tell you when to get in or when to get out. You want to become self-sufficient. You want to be able to look at the chart, starting at the top with the daily to see which way the wind's blowing, down to your 30-minute, see the windows of opportunity, and then be prepared to take action just as you're taught every day in the live training room. Michael's teaching you how to fish. The alerts are showing you where the fish are. Now, our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts, those are a little bit different in a few ways. Number one, they're based on historic price action, not current price action. And when historic price action meets current price action, that's where you'll find some of your best high probability, low risk trade opportunities. The CTAs are posted for members and trial members every evening shortly after the Globex Open. So we're in the Thursday session now, but the Thursday session began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. Just as tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, that will begin the Friday session, even though it's still Thursday night here in the U.S. Now we cover the same markets with the CTAs as we do with the logic alerts. We'll use the ES as an example, but the same applies to any market that you trade. When the report is published, the numbers are good for the entire session. Just like the weekly trading zones, once they're published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, those are carved in stone for the entire week. So make note on your 30-minute chart where price is at the time the report is published. It's always going to be between these two numbers. So on your 30-minute chart, if price gets above the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the long target. If price gets below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. It really is that simple. Now, you have to look left to spot potential obstacles, support or resistance, depending upon whether you're trading long or short. And over time, you'll learn to understand how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. From the moment the markets open Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern until they close Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern, price is always trying to get to a weekly zone. If it's above the BBC, it's trying to get to the zone overhead. If it's below the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the zone below. Once you make note of where price is at the time the report is published, draw a line in the sand at the long target, draw a line in the sand at the short target. Those serve as great visual cues to help you stay on the right side of the street. Okay? If the market's trending higher, you don't want to be trading short, and if the market's trending lower, you don't want to be trading long. Now, this broadcast is open to the public. So while all members got these numbers last night at 7:05 p.m. Eastern, if you're not a member or not on a trial, feel free to grab a screenshot of the numbers because we're going to walk through each one of the individual charts. Okay? All right. But we're going to start out first with the daily chart, as we do every day, because that gives us a really big picture view of the markets. Institutional traders watch daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I watch 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. Institutional accounts are denominated in hundreds of millions and even billions of dollars. Typical retail trader's account is denominated in thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. It is the institutional trading that actually moves price. Right now, price is trapped between resistance, high of the day, the step line, low of the day, blue and climbing. If price could overcome the step line, then it would run into potential resistance at the BVC. The green line is called the BVC. It simply stands for bull bear cross. When price crosses below that green line, we're bearish. We anticipate lower prices. When price pulls back to the BVC, it holds more often than it doesn't. Whether it's pulling up or pulling down, like this, and this, and this, and even this. But we know eventually price will trade through the BVC because the market doesn't always just go up or always just go down. And so when that happens, that's a heads up for you to look for the market to start trending in the opposite direction. But look at all these days. We actually had a sizable move on March 3rd, and then we hit that previous bearish cross. And we commented in the discussion group that the market would most likely find resistance there, as it usually does. Same is true of a bullish cross that leads to an extended move. First time price revisits the area of the bullish cross will almost always be support. So again, we've got a daily doji going. High of the day is at the step line. Low of the day is at blue and climbing. Now the red and blue indicator is called the CFMA1. I just refer to it as blue and climbing, red and falling. One is bullish, the other bearish. However, once blue and climbing gets directly below price, once red and falling gets directly below price, it's on its way to turning into blue and climbing, which will be support. And when red and falling gets directly above price, that's going to be resistance, and it's the first heads up that we're taking a trip back to the VVC, possibly lower. So we've pinged from the 38% fib retracement to the 24. We didn't make it back to the 38 here because the market ran into support. When you see a daily doji like this, what does that tell you? It's a market looking for direction. The institutions are not willing to commit to the long or the short side just yet. Now back here we talked about the potential for a major move to the downside that might just potentially take out the October 13th low. Been in a downtrend almost a year, since March 29th of last year to the low put in October 13th. From the October 13th low to the high put in February 2nd, we've retraced to the 38% fib, bounced to the 24, and now here we sit trapped. Price has to overcome this high or this low for the markets to start flowing again. And this is what a trending market looks like. Trending down, trending up. Leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg. The price can go no higher. Then it'll trade through the BVC. Do the same thing. Once price gets back above the BVC, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace. Now you might say, I don't use a daily chart, I don't trade the S&P. That's okay, because the same concept applies to every market, every futures market, every individual stock, every crypto, every forex pair. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. Support, resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again, It is a never-ending cycle that has been in place since the inception of the markets. It will remain in place till the markets cease to exist. So no matter what market you choose to trade, or stock or crypto or forex, our indicators and strategy will point the way and show you where to anticipate support and resistance. It's a cycle that repeats over and over again. Now the vertical line here on the 30-minute chart, that separates today Thursday from yesterday Wednesday. But remember, the Thursday session began last night right here on this candle at 1800 hours or 6 p.m. Eastern. Price pulled up to the weekly zone, which we expect to be resistance until proven otherwise. Then price got below the BBC, blue and climbing turned to red and falling. And so there was some real nice opportunities here on the short side. We didn't make it to the short target. This morning we got back above the BBC and we made a run right up to the target. We exceeded it. We've now pulled back to the BBC. Pullback holds more often than not. Not only do we have the BBC here, which we expect to be support, we had the weekly trading zone. The zones we've published since December 14th, 2009. They behave today the same way they did the first day we ever published them. Now this spike right here look left, you'll see that bullish cross. It spiked it a little bit, but it put us back above the BBC. But on the 30-minute chart, we've got potential resistance overhead at the step line, just like we did on the daily chart. Up here, we've got blue and climbing right at the target. If price consolidates at the zone, this is going to turn to red and falling. That may take us below the BBC, down to challenge this low, and down to the short CTA target. So we made the long target on the ES, as we did on the Dow. Price consolidated above the weekly trading zone that was published Monday morning. Today's Thursday. This was published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. We got a leg and a retracement. Price is above the BBC. Here's the step line. Here's blue and climbing. Those are perfect conditions for long trades, and that's what took us right up to the weekly trading zone. We exceeded it. Go back to the BBC. Now the difference between the ES and the Dow already has red and falling. Price is below the BBC. So we have to be patient now and wait for price to take out this low, and then we'll have a nice window of opportunity if price can get through the zone. Go for the day, and then some right there. 33, call it 720, down to 32, 685. 20 points, $5 a point. That's $100 per contract traded. Pretty obvious where price is headed now, back to the zone. But what happened overnight? Support, 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 support. Question is, this time, will it still hold? Or will it trade through and attempt to reach the zone below? On the Russell, here's the open, lots of sideways. Had a leg to the downside, a retracement to the BBC, another leg. And we pulled up to the zone where we found resistance yesterday. That sent price back below the BBC and down to the short target. To it and through it. And we're printing a red candle. And once we take out this low, then the lowest weekly trading zone comes into play, 1825/26. That's a huge window of opportunity. Now we saw the daily chart. We know where the major obstacles are based on 30-minute charts. That lets us know that potential for that daily chart to quickly change, and we may end the day with a big red candle on the doji. On the NQ, which is so volatile, we had two-sided action. Price opened here, came down to the short target. Price got above the BBC, took us to the long target. It's high. Yesterday, price could not overcome this area. Same thing is held true for today. The lows of yesterday, with the exception of this spike right here, off the 10 a.m. news, we never filled this window of opportunity. Yesterday, we got a little ways through it here, but we had just overshot the target. On crude oil, sideways, above the BBC, we got above the zone. Price sliced through the zone, retraced to the zone and sliced through and continued in the direction of the slice. Only three things happen at a zone. The most common is consolidation, about 70% of the time. That's what you're going to see. 20% of the time you'll see this, rejection. This was a green candle all the way up to the zone. But by the time the 30-minute period ended, the only thing left touching the zone is the wick. That's rejection. And this is the slice. Trace to the zone, continue in the direction of the slice. On gold, here's where we opened. We got above the BBC, we got a leg, we got a retracement, we got a leg. That not only took us up to the target, but it took us to the weekly trading zone. We spiked it. By the time the 30-minute candle closed, price had been rejected. That sent us back down to this low. And now price is attempting to run to the zone again, but it has an obstacle. When you've got price, step line, and blue and climbing lined up like this, that calls for higher prices. But once this step line crosses blue and climbing, two things happen. Blue and climbing becomes potential resistance, and there's a high probability there'll be a pullback to the BBC. You can't learn this all overnight. Don't try. You might pull a groin muscle or something. It's going to take time. You've got to learn to understand how price flows. Beautiful move down. So the step line crossed, and then inevitably came the pullback to the BC. Silver. Remember, when silver moves 2 pennies, it's $100. When it moves $1, it's $5 grand. We opened and consolidated at the zone. We attempted lower, right into this area where we found support yesterday. Got above the BBC, we got a leg, we got a retracement, pullback holds more often than not. Sent us on our way to the target. Retracement, leg, retracement, leg. Now we've retraced back to the BBC. Price is trapped between the step line and red and falling. If If we overcome red and falling and overcome this high, then we should see our way back up to the target again. And on the euro, here's where we opened. Prices above the BVC. Leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement. Leg right up to the target. Pull back to the BVC. It held and it held and it held and it held and it held. Pulls more often than it doesn't. It held again here. So we trade through the target, hit the weekly zone that was published Monday morning. And these wicks here, every one of those is an attempt to overcome the zone. So far, we haven't been able to. So we now got a red body showing on that doji. But remember, blue and climbing and the low of yesterday are just whiskers away. So we get below that. Watch the 38 for support. And the low of March 2nd, 39.25. And of course, members and free trial members also have their weekly trading zones to help guide and direct them. Know where to expect support and resistance. Michael, if you're ready, should be here along momentarily. Michael's going to give us a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning. And then at 1 p.m. Eastern, we'll go live on TradingView. We streamed live for an hour this morning. We'll be streaming live again this afternoon for a half hour. You can watch it on the TradingView platform. You can watch it on YouTube, or you can watch it here in the GoTo platform. Remember, if you want to be in the workshop tonight, go here, eminifuturestrading.com to get your lifetime passport. No recurring fees, not weekly, not monthly, not yearly, no upsells, no new shiny objects to buy from us ever. You get around-the-clock support via Telegram. You have access to unlimited one-on-one private mentoring. The strategy is fluid across all markets and all time frames. The indicators you own for life, same thing. Plus you receive the Logic 247 alerts and the concierge trade alerts. What we've done is we've not only tried to make it as simple as we possibly can, but we've put everything a trader needs all under one roof at one low price. You have to find a home somewhere. I know many of you have spent lots of time and lots of treasure floating from place to place to place to find that holy grail. Well, the truth of the matter is there is no holy grail. The only holy grail in the world of trading is learning how to trade. That's why we provide you with a teacher live in real time, 2 hours every trading day. The mechanical model that's taught in the live training room, you have to get that down. It's pretty simple, rules based. Get that under your belt before you start wandering into the world of discretionary trading. And you don't ever have to become a discretionary trader. You can simply follow that rules-based methodology to get your goal for the day on a consistent basis. As Mark Douglas said in Trading in the Zone, trading perfection is this: knowing what to do, when to do it, and then doing it. Michael, are you there? I think Michael's having some trouble logging in. Take a look. If you have any questions, call 949-42-EMINI or send an email to support@cfrn.net. Stand by and I'll see if Michael's having trouble. Remember, at the top of the hour, we'll go live on the TradingView platform. You're welcome to watch us on the TradingView platform, or right here in the GoTo platform, or on the YouTube channel. Okay, Michael has arrived. When you're ready, grab it. Okay, looks good. Take it away. Except I don't hear you. Check your mic.
Ah, there we go. It's the second mic. It's always that second one.
Always the second one. Always two things. There. Okay.
All right.
All right, looks good.
Here we go. Thank you. Here we go. We'll get cracking. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 9th day of March 2023. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com. Right here, it says sign up for your free 5-day training. Now, click that, and when you click it, you're going to be brought to a page where we just ask a little bit of information. About 30 seconds it'll take. Just fill it in, and then you get all the information you need to get into the room with us in the morning. All right, that room is 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern time. If you're going to do that, you should go here and download the trading platform. One of these trading platforms you should definitely download. We're going to focus here on TradingView. For the past 10 years or so, we focused on DT Pro, but now Daniels is actually pushing a little bit toward TradingView. So we're going to go TradingView as well. And I mean, we're always going to use DT Pro. I'm always going to put my trading. I'm always going to be trading through my DT Pro DOM. Okay. So we're now then go with DT Pro, which is trading off of the TradingView charts, because the things that we have here on the TradingView charts, I can't actually put on the DT Pro charts. So let's get into that in a few minutes. Results. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you have to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today's the 9th day, as I said, of March 2023. Made 50 on the NQ, 27 on crude, 14 on gold, and we lost 5 on the ES. Look, 2 days in a row we're down on the ES. It's been a long time since that's happened. Anyway, today it took 3 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. And at that point, we're up $300. And we took a total of 27 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're at $5,410 a contract. That is over 7 trading days, averaging $772 per contract per 2-hour trading day. We've now gone 45 out of 46 days so far this year, getting our goal. And we have gone 15 days since our last blue day. We've gone 393 business days since our last red day. Okay. And that puts us now on the year. We're at $20,210 over 46 trading days, averaging $439 per contract per 2-hour trading day. This is where you want to be. If you're able to be consistently profitable and get your goal every day, and do like I did and quit. Well, if you could quit when you got your goal for the day, like I did, quit. I didn't do, but get the goal for the day. I did do. But anyway. If you were able to quit when you get your goal for the day and add 1 contract per month, which I did do this year, so far you would have only had to work 11.76 hours, and you would have averaged $799 per hour. That's what I did this year. If I would have done it right in February, we would have averaged $848 per hour, but I had 5 days in February where I messed it up, and I only did 1 contract. I actually messed it up this morning too. I did it with 1 contract, and I got about 19 ticks, I think, with 1 contract. And then I actually got more with 1 contract, and then I went to 3 contracts, and then I got the goal for the day with 3 contracts. So I didn't count all those things that I did with 1 contract on my way to getting the goal. I should have probably counted it overall, but I didn't. Anyway, so that's all that stuff. Now let's get into the actual trades that we did and didn't do. We had something on everything today. Okay. This is the gold. You can see there were a lot of trades triggered here automatically. A lot of trades triggered up here automatically. And all of these right here, I know they don't look like they went very far, but they did go far enough to get the stop to break even. And this one here probably would have ended up being a winning trade. That was right at the open. I missed this one. This was a really nice trade, but I think I was getting my goal on something else at the time. There's a trade here I missed. Then this one we finally did get on the gold. Our first trade here, and they got one tick on that one. Then I got 6 there to get me to 17, and I got 6 more there to get me to 13. And then I got one more right here to get me to 14. And that was where we finished up trading on the gold. Let me see, there were some really nice trades in here that we ended up missing. I did have one more break-even trade right here. There was another one here that I missed. And then we get into the break, and during the break, it was nothing. Okay, there was nothing at all. The long-term direction is flat right here, so you don't want to trade when it's like that. Okay. Okay. Crude oil. Times it. 1252. Okay, for those of you guys who are in here who are actual partners, I did create something else last night that I want to show you guys in the partners meeting tonight. Okay, so get into that partners meeting if you can, and I will show you something pretty cool tonight. It's yellow. I'll show you. I don't think I have it in here. Let me see. Did I do it in this release? I don't think so. No, these would be different colors right now. Anyway, I'll show it to you in the partners meeting tonight. It's just something else that's pretty cool that I noticed. All right, so on crude oil, our first trade here on crude was right there. We picked up 10 ticks. I missed that one, and that one. All really nice wins. Then I got 1 tick on that one. All right, and then we went from 11 to 23. So over here, I picked up 12 ticks on this one. And then we went from 23 to 27. So I picked up 4 more over here. And you see this trade right here. This one, I actually jumped on a little, well, I don't know, why don't I have, you know what, something's not right here. Yeah, something's not right here. This is the one that I was using to show things, to show the equities on, right? So yeah, this needs to be 0.05. No, 0.1. This is crude. 0.1. Okay, I was wondering why we didn't have. Our arrows in there. All right, so in here we picked up this trade right here, but what I was trying to show you was this right here. You see how we didn't get an arrow on that one? The reason we didn't get an arrow, that's a valid trade right there, because the black stayed in the green. If you guys remember, anybody that's been here for more than a week, remember the black being in the green while the long-term direction was bullish was all you had to have for a trigger. That is still the case. The arrow just adds to it. If you get into the ribbon and you have an arrow, then that's a great trade. That's a really high probability trade. Okay, just wanted to point that out. Like this one right over here, really high probability trade. And that was where we ended on the crude, I think, right there, wasn't it? Our last crude trade, we picked up 4 ticks. Yeah, that was it right there. During the break, you can see there were some nice trades that were triggered all through here during the break, and that was all good. And I'm just taking a quick look at this to see if, the other stuff that I was showing to you, and this Don, I don't know if Don B is in here right now. No, he's not. Okay, that stuff I'll go over in the meeting tonight. How there would have been a trade right there, and there, and there, and there. There and there, there, and a few more. They're definitely gonna overlap in some places, but that was what we ended up with crude oil there today. Okay, so I'll slide that back over here like that, and now we'll look at the ES. Now I might have messed around with the ES too, so I'll just go down and look at the settings on this and make sure they are right. That is correct. 0.35 is what I have for the ES. Now, I did create a new release last night to TradingView. I'll just tell you guys, if you go in here to indicators and you go to your invite only script, the TIQ context, click on this. It's going to show you the release notes down here at the bottom. Everything that I added last night, they're right here, the release notes. And I actually put the settings in here for you too. All right, the suggested settings for you in there too. Okay. So if you haven't done that yet and you're interested in doing that, you should go check that out. That is also on, if you go here and you go to our trade rules, at mytradingiq.com, click on trade rules, it's right here. Okay, all the settings for the different tick range bars, where your stop should be, how to move to break even, when to move to break even, all that business. Okay, that's all here. You go to mytradingview.com and click on trade rules. That's all in here. All right, so back here, the ES today. What time is it? 56. Okay, moving along. One of the things that I added last night were these red arrows. Okay, that's one of the things that I added. Oops, I think I just moved one of these over. It goes over here. One of the things that I added last night was the red arrows, but in here, our first trade on the ES looks like we picked up 12 ticks on our first trade, or 1 tick, then 2 ticks, then we stopped out. I think that's what happened. Maybe we had 1 tick. No, we had 12 ticks on the first trade. That's what it is. We had 12 ticks on the first trade. Then we stopped out and went back down to 2. And then we went up to 3. And then we went up to 5. We went from 3 up to 5 right here, I think. And then we stopped out again. And that put us at -5 on the morning session. So I did miss some nice trades through here. All right, but I ended up getting this stop out right here. I think I probably should have had my stop at break even on this one. I had a horrible entry. Entry was like 4 ticks away from where it should have been. And if I'd had the right entry, I'd have had my stop at break even again, not to break even on that, but I didn't. So it stopped me out. And that was it. You can see during the break, there was a trade here and a trade here, both of which would have been good. This was also a trade right here during the break. Didn't get an arrow with that one because, well, the long-term direction it was too flat. Okay, and over here, these two would be combined right now. You'd still be working on that trade on the short right there. And that was the ES. We ended up with -5 on the ES. Okay. Now the NQ. The NQ was kind of fun this morning. I have way more than what I took credit for, because it was one trade that was a really big trade that I lost track of, and I probably got like 50 ticks on, but I only took 20 because if I'm going to err, I'm going to err to the downside, not to the upside. But I knew I had gotten it. Everybody else did too. I'll have to look at the recording and see what I actually did get on that trade. But anyway, our first trade in here, but we had a couple of trades. We took these trades in here, and I did get my goal for the day on that, but I did it with 1 contract. Then I did it again, and I got more, but I still did it with 1 contract. And then I finally put 3 contracts on, and I ended up getting a break even. And then I got another break even over here, and then finally we had somewhere in here. Where is it? Is this all today? Yeah, this is all today. So somewhere in here we stopped out. We stopped out before I started getting profit in here. We had stopped out, right? And then I picked up 8 ticks right here. So one of these in here stopped me out. Somewhere in here, I stopped out. And then I picked up 8 ticks in profit on that one. So I was at -20. Then I got to -12. Then right here we picked up 20, I think, and that got us to +8. And then we had a +8 to get us to +16. Then we had a break even there, and right here we went from 16 to 22. So that's 32, sorry, 16 to 32. So we had a 16 tick trade there. Then from 32 to 48, so we had another 16 tick trade there, and then we stopped out, went from 48 down to 28. And then we went from 28 up to 50, so we had a 22 tick trade. Yeah, that was a 22 tick trade. That's right. I remember moving it up to 22. We had a 22 tick trade there, and I think that's where we ended trading. Nope, we had one more break even trade here. There were some nice trades in here that were triggered, but I didn't get any of those. Right? I was a little bit busy with the training stuff. So I missed a trade there. I missed a trade there. I missed a trade there. I missed a trade there, and there, and there, and there. And all those were nice trades. Okay, you guys can see this, right? I mean, I'm not making this up. Those are put on there automatically now. And so all this was during the break right here. Okay, what time is it? Oh, it's 1 o'clock. I got to get into the other thing. All right, so all this was during the break, and we ended with the NQ at +50 on the morning. Again, if you haven't taken a free trial with us, go. Let me get to the other thing over here just a second before it's too late. Let me shut that off. Turn that on. Hit refresh on this, and we'll get right into the next thing. Here we go, entire screen. There it is, share. All right, So again, if you haven't taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com and sign up for it on the home page. Okay, sign up for it on the home page. So now we'll go here to this chart and we'll start the stream. And the stream is still, there it is. Now the stream is live. All right. So if anybody has any questions, type them to either live chat or type them into the question box. Okay. Let me slide this over, slide here and slide this over here. Let me see Don, yes, he's not in here. Okay, I was gonna say if he's in here, then I would show him how to transfer his own workspace. That's really what he wants to do, I think. Like this right here is an actual long trade on the gold. The gold should probably run up to, the actual long trade was from the up close right here was the spot 32.7. Okay, I got not the greatest fill on that, but we're in, and I'm gonna lock in one tick. We should get up to right here at 34.4. Okay, I'm gonna lock in 3 ticks on that right now. I like the number at 34.4. It's got to get through 34.0. If you get through 34.0, then it should go up to 34.4 pretty easily. Now we've already exceeded the prior swing high right here, so you'd have to look even further left. If you look into the, if you go to mytradingiq.com and you look at the ways to manage your risk on that, okay, then you'd be able to do that. So we now have, what do we have? 5 ticks locked in right now. We have 5 ticks locked in. If it gets all the way up here, then I'm actually going to move that up to here, 34.8. That'd be 17 ticks. I'm going to get 5 or I'm going to get 17. And in this case, I got 5. Right, so that was our very first trade. Yeah, let me write that down. Anybody that is in here, let me just go back here for a second. Yeah, anybody who's in here who was on the live stream with TradingView, if you want to take a free trial with us, go to mytradingiq.com, sign up for the free trial there. If you have any questions, just type them in. If anybody at any time in any of the 3 things that I'm broadcasting this on right now wants to see any equities or stocks or ETFs or anything like that, just give me a symbol. I'll do Forex today too. If that fellow that wanted to do it yesterday comes back today, I'll show Forex. I don't really know much about it. I mean, I do know enough about it that doing it on range bars probably isn't the best idea, but I'll show it on some other type of bar. All right. So, yes, if anybody's got any questions, you just type them in to the question box. All right. Right now, what we're looking for, the long-term direction is bearish right here on the crude oil. The long-term direction is bullish here on the gold. Long-term direction is bearish on the ES. The ES actually has a trade right here. Where is my ES Dom? I don't know. Here it is over here. Yeah, the ES actually has a shorting opportunity right here. You got the down arrow right here. Long-term trend is bearish. The lead line came out of the overbought area here. That's what triggered the arrow. Okay, the gold is starting to pull back a little bit. It's got to actually get into the ribbon to give us a trade. Here's the ES trade. Sorry, here's the ES trade. It's got to go 4 ticks into profits, but stop to break even. That stop is at break even now, and that should probably run down to 82.75. 82.75. I'm going to throw a target down there at 82.75. I'll slide this off to the side for just a second and draw for you. I just ended up getting out of that trade right there at break even. Okay, so let me put that in. That ended up being a break-even trade. Oh, it is yellow. Okay, and this one over here ended up being a win. Let me put that in. Okay, blue. There you go. The NQ could trigger a trade here. It's going to look back at this and see if it's too flat. All right, that's what it's looking at right now. This is not just a regular trade, so it's going to have to give us the arrow, and it's not doing it right now. The ES, that was our attempt right there on the ES. The crude actually just gave a trigger right back here at, what was it at? 76.39 is what it was at back there. Okay, 76.39. Okay, so on the crude. We anticipate it's going to get down here to 76.30. The DOM supports that. The DOM thinks it's going to go down there to 76.30 too. Okay, 76.30 as well. So this swing low right here is a good target number for that. For that crude trade. The ES, what is that doing over there? Nothing. That is a stop that I left on. Okay, so that's what we have going on so far. We have this trade here and this trade here. The NQ is starting to flatten out a little bit in here, so we might not get anything with this crude trade going on too. Here, sorry, I didn't bring that over and show it to you. Here it is. The NQ doesn't have anything right now. Okay, so let me jump back over here to here for a second. I don't see anybody asking any questions in the live stream. If you guys want to look at any equities or anything like that, any cryptos, stop to break even here on the crude oil, by the way. If you guys want to look at any equities or any cryptos, you need to let me know what they are. Right, type in a symbol and we'll look at it. Stop to +2 on the crude. The gold is just about down into the ribbon. The lead line is not oversold yet, so that's not going to give us an arrow. Not yet. The ES has not gotten down to the target number that I gave you yet. And we just got taken out with the crude with a couple. I know for some of you guys, you maybe see me taking these small gains like this. And all I can say is those small gains add up over time. You know, I can't bring out my spreadsheet and show it to you right now, but I can tell you this morning we ended up with, in the 2 hours this morning, we're plus 27 ticks on crude, plus 50 on the NQ, -5 on the ES, and plus 14 on gold. That was in the 2 hours this morning in the live room this morning. All right. We're still not going to get an arrow here, but that did hit the ribbon, so that's okay to trade right there on the gold. Okay. On the pullback right here, it's off the ribbon. We're not going to get an arrow because the slingshot did not allow the arrow, but this is still a valid trade here off the ribbon. As long as the long-term trend is bullish, any up close off the ribbon is good, while the black is in the green. Okay. Waiting for a follow through over here on the ES, and the NQ is just choppy and sideways. So let me jump in here and see if anybody asked for anything. Nope, not yet. Not yet. All right. Okay, so the gold is starting to move. Hang on. Yeah, let me bring that over. Here it is. Stop to break even on the gold. I'll do plus a tick on the gold, and I like gold all the way up here to 35.2. Did I draw in the last number? I didn't draw in the last number, did I? The last number that I thought we were going to get, but this time I think we're going to get 35.2. Check that. 35.2. Okay. I'm looking 2 ticks on this. It may pull back before it does the final push up. So, you know, the slingshot never got all the way down. It never pulled all the way back down. So we look for the green line to get all the way up here into the cycle right now. I want to see that green line get all the way up into the cycle. That'd be great if it did that. But we're going to end up with just a couple on that one. And I'm going to cancel my remaining order right now. Okay, do that. And this becomes another blue one. Gold. 2 more. And we didn't put in a higher swing there on the gold. So I'm still with the lower swing here on the ES, on the crude, and the higher swing on the gold now. The ES too. You see how everything's not giving us, it's not following through and continuing the trend. Nothing has continued the trend yet. Okay. Let me slow down. That's 10 minutes. So we're 10 minutes into it. The NQ is starting to move. These are all going to start giving us, I think these are all going to start giving us the lower swings that we're looking for. These right here, follow through the lower swings. I don't know what's going to happen with this, but I do know that these are probably going to follow through and start putting in those lower swings we're looking for. Okay. Okay. So we're almost down there now with the ES. Okay, so we got to break even on the ES. We didn't take another trade on the ES so far today, did we? Didn't. No. In the NQ's got lower swing. You see the bearish, the long-term direction has just turned bearish here on the NQ. So we can look for any pullback now. Look for pullbacks on the NQ to get into that. Long-term direction has always been bearish here on the ES and the crude. and it's been bullish for the whole time on the gold, but we did not put in a higher swing right there. Those of you guys that were here yesterday, listening yesterday, every trade that you put in, the idea is for it to continue the trend, right? The markets should be doing the same thing all the time. They go up, down, up. So when it goes up and it exceeds that level, that continues the trend. What we want to teach you to do is how to get in here, get out here, get in here, get out here. On the pullback, know when it's pulled back, get in there, know when it's reached the top, and get out there. That's what we want to teach you how to do. Down here in the slingshot, when this green, which goes with this arrow right here, gets all the way down into the bottom, into the cycle, which we are right now, it's time for it to pull back and do it all over again. Okay, this green, it's down here, it's time for it to pull back and do it all over again. So that's what's happening right now in front of you. Okay, that right there on the NQ is a shorting opportunity. Bearish, the long-term direction is bearish right here. We did get the down arrow. That means that we crossed out of the overbought with the black either in the gray or the silver. Long-term direction is down and the black crossed. Now I put that trade on and the stop actually goes to break even after I get 8 ticks in profit, and it already did go 8 ticks in profit, so I just threw that one to break even. I'm going to put the break even on it. I know I'm going to be sorry about that because I think it's going to go all the way down here, but I'm just following the rules. All right, everything we do is rules based, and the rule there was to bump the stop to break even after 8 ticks in profit. So that's where we are on all that right now. Let me get rid of those drawings for you. Does anybody have any questions right now? Anticipate the NQ to get down here, all right, to 9 1/4. If it doesn't get there or through there, then you probably don't want to take the next arrow that comes along. Okay. And the gold, what happened with the gold? Did we get another break even on the gold? I don't recall. They canceled. I had an order waiting over there. In here, nothing. Okay. So we're waiting now, waiting for another opportunity. All right, we may get another arrow here because the lead line has gotten into the overbought area again. Now, as before, if it does not put in a lower swing, the next arrow is suspect. All right. Still got a little ways to go to get down to the swing low, so that's something to look at. But you see how all of these exceeded the swing low, and this one actually on the last push didn't exceed the swing high. But I didn't. Oh, I did. I thought I didn't get into that, but I guess I did. All right. So that one more tick. Okay, and what was my target number on that before? Up here at 35.2. 35.2. It's having trouble there, and this did trigger down here. I didn't take that trade. I'm hoping it's going to put in a lower swing, and I'll get the next one. All right, if it puts in a lower swing here. I was looking away. I would have probably taken it, but I was looking away over here. Okay, and it got right down to the swing low. It did not penetrate the swing low. Not yet. So maybe just a few minutes here. Okay. All right. So we have a second here to actually explain what's going on. If you don't know, the context is the colors right here. If it's bearish, you know, you're going to have a lot of red colors, and the black line is going to be in the red. The long-term direction is going to be down. If it's bullish, then it's all going to be green, like this over here. The black is going to be in the green. Long-term direction is going to be bullish, going up. Right, these outer bands right here, those are the long-term direction bands. Okay, the outer bands are your long-term direction bands. Okay. Now, we needed everything to pull back deeper to give us any arrows, all right? And it's also got to pull back and get into the ribbon to get any kind of trade at all. All right, so to get any kind of arrow, this white line there has to be oversold or overbought. And to get any kind of other trade, it's actually got to get into the ribbon. Right, so we're not doing any of that right now. The gold, you see, did not put in a higher swing again right here. It's pretty close to it, but it did not put in a higher swing again. So we're waiting on that. And I mean, I see people in here, but I don't see anybody asking questions. So we have 13 minutes left to this session. All right. And we're back down here testing the ribbon again on the gold. But this is twice we did not put it in a higher swing right here. So we're in consolidation right now. I'm not going to take another up close here on the gold right now. All right, I'm going to leave that one alone. And just wait it out. We can take a trade over here on the NQ. I think the NQ might pull back a little bit, but it did give a short right there, so we're in it. All right, I'm going to lock in a point on the NQ. And I'm out with a point on the NQ. Okay, this down close right here with the arrow was the spot to short that. Right there. Okay. Q. And the NQ is not going to give us another trade right now. Not yet. Okay. The white's got to get into the overbought to consider giving us another arrow. Now. So I'm waiting for more of a pullback here. The gold, I said I'm not going to go long again on the gold until it puts in a higher swing. So if this does trigger and gives a decent trade and puts in the higher swing, I'm going to miss out on the whole thing. I don't feel bad about that at all. Back in here. Huh. Okay, we are not still live. What the heck?
It
Okay,
died, and I sent the link to Artem.
Okay, yeah, because that's, I mean, what's the point of doing it? It's gonna die on us every time. Let's see, do I have NinjaTrader open? I don't believe I do. Do I? I do, so it might be a memory issue again. Let me close that and see. Okay, let me try to do this again. Shut it off, turn it on again, hit that, and share. It's still not showing. It says disconnected. It says connecting. Now it says connected, but it's still not showing stream. Okay, well, I'm just going to stop that stream. Stop. All right. Well, we'll stick it out for the next 10 minutes anyway, and we'll do it for everybody that's in here. We did have another short right here that I didn't get. I'm still looking for these to pull back and give us something else. Let me hit create stream. Nah, I'm not gonna bother with that. I guess I can. If I hit create stream, no, I'll do it somewhere else. I'm just not gonna do it. All right, so this is the up close over here on the gold that I said I wasn't gonna do. I wanted to put it in a higher swing right now. All right, before I'm going to jump back in that. And there's the NQ triggering again. Okay. So, oops, that was a mistake. The NQ triggered in. I accidentally placed an ES trade. Okay, well here, I also placed the NQ trade too. So I'm going to throw my stop at break even on that. And now I'm going to lock in 1 point. Nope, I was going to lock in 2, but it didn't go. No, 1 point, 1 more point on the NQ. Okay. All right, the NQ should run down here to 12,199. Oh, 199. The crude oil's actually got a trade going over there. Okay, I didn't notice, and I'm going to get out of the ES. All right, so I know this is still going on to YouTube right now, so I'm just going to keep going until the 130 mark. Okay. This is the trade I said I was not going to take over here on the gold. We need it to give us a higher swing. Okay, we need that to give us a higher swing. The NQ got a point over there, right? Oops, that's what I mean. A point over here. Okay, let me put that down. The ES trade, the crude trade that I just did, the ES trade I got in by accident is working out, but I got out of that. Also, I didn't stay in that. My stop's at +3 here on the crude. The crude has this huge leg right here that it just did, and it retraced all of that really fast. So I don't know if it's going to move down as fast as it moved back up. You know, we'll see. But right now, we're just going to keep locking in profit on the way. There's +4 ticks right now on the crude. All right, +6 ticks on the crude. And +8 ticks on the crude. All right, so we're taking 8 ticks there on that crude trade. And let's put this on right here. It's right there. The NQ did put in a lower swing. It did continue down past what I thought it was going to go to. I said 199, and it went right through that. The ES is moving down too. It didn't give us the trade setup in here, but it did move down some with the NQ, so that's good. And yeah. So that is what we got going on right here. Right over here right now on the gold, still has to put in a higher swing. You see how choppy that is? By not putting in that higher swing and coming back and giving us trade after trade after trade right there. It's a mess. The NQ, I wish I would have stayed in the NQ trade. But you can see that's a great trade right there. I don't know if any of you guys managed to stay in that, but that's a great trade right there. And it's pulling back, and see, it got triggered right here. For those of you guys who were in there this morning, you know, who are watching this for the first time this morning, the arrows, you know, they're doing all the work for you. I don't know what more you need other than, you know, for me to actually make it put the trade on. Great, David. You got 60 ticks on that NQ. I got 4. But I did get 60 on one earlier this morning, and I got 60 on one yesterday. But the one that I got 60 on this morning, I only took 20. I only took credit for 20 on. And then the one that I got like 100 ticks on one, but I had 4 contracts on. I didn't really mean to do. And I didn't count it toward the total. Right. So you see the way the gold is over here. It's actually trending down right now. You could draw a trend line down the tops. So it's in this channel. It's got to break one way or another. Everything else is breaking down. It drives me if the gold doesn't eventually do that too. It used to be years ago. It used to be that gold would run opposite the indexes, because money would come out of the gold to go into the indexes, or come out of the indexes and go into the gold. But it just doesn't work that way anymore. Not like it used to. You could have just taken the trade right here. I just missed that. I was looking at the gold. All right. Well, we are going to try to take another trade here if something triggers. In here, if this would have pulled back just a little further, right here, if it pulled back just a little further, hit the ribbon and given a down close, or gotten the lead line in the slingshot up into the overbought area, then that would have given us another opportunity there. Okay, so you see the little arrow right here? These little arrows are the arrows that trigger before the actual bigger arrow triggers. Now, they don't always trigger before it, but they usually trigger when it's starting to set up. What that means is the lead line is either overbought or oversold. All right, one or the other, you're going to end up getting that arrow. Okay, so like right now it's overbought. That's why you have two of those arrows, because it's been overbought for 2 bars. So it's basically saying get ready to short. And there it is. The black arrow came after 2 of those. The black arrow came. And if leg lengths have anything to do with it, then we should have another leg length like this right here, right now. Okay, I'll draw that in for you. This was part of yesterday's lesson, the leg length part of it. I think it was yesterday's lesson. Okay, that's where that should go. If you're in the room in the morning, that's where that should go. Okay, so I'm going to lock in 1 point on this, and I'm out with 1 point. It's going to be another one that, you know, some of you guys get 60 points or 15 points, and I get 1. But it's okay. I'll take my extra 1 point. And it triggered again. And once again, I'm in it, and my stops at break even. And this time I was just going to lock in 2 points. But we'll see. Nope, that one got me a break even. Okay, so let me draw those in. I haven't put those trades actually in there. This was a good trade right here. And this was a break even trade right here. Okay, you see how it's not putting in a lower swing right now? So we're going to leave it alone for the next one. Let it pull back a little bit deeper. Okay, over here on the crude oil, we pulled all the way back up here. This is not in the overbought area, so we're not going to get a trade here. On the golds, it's still going sideways. We're going to leave that alone. On the ES, we got this down arrow, but I'm not going for that. I'm going to let it pull back. Okay. Done. Email to you. If you downloaded, I can't show you that right now, but let me show you, and just give me about 5 minutes on, and I'll show you what you need to do, okay? All right. Now we got a little bit deeper of a pullback here on the NQ. I didn't do this again. It's already gone like 12 ticks into profit or 16 ticks into profit, but I didn't do that. Our half an hour is just about to run out here. I guess I can show you this now, Don, because we're not streaming anymore. What you need to do, Don, is go into DT Pro. Go into DT Pro and go to File on the computer that you have it on. On the computer that you have it on, go to File. In the control panel, go to File, Workspaces, and Save As, and then email the workspace that you have on the computer, on the laptop that you have everything all on. Oh, you have a brand new one. Okay, I'm sorry. You have a brand new one. Okay, you don't have your old laptop with your workspace on it. So what I'll do then, if you've already gone out to the indicator store and downloaded the thing from the indicator store, oops, I had a stop I left down on the NQ and it just triggered me in long. See, I'm out of that now. I'll email you a workspace, Don. Okay, rather than try to show you, because you're gonna have to start with a brand new workspace. So I'll email you a workspace. When you get the workspace, put it in your downloads folder, then go to File, Workspaces, Open, and inside there, you're gonna find it in your downloads folder. Just open up the workspace. Okay, that's all you have to do. That would have been a nice trade if I had done it, but I didn't. This one right here is also working out pretty well, but I didn't do that either. And that's it. So I guess we're going to end this half an hour, which would have been a live stream for the whole half hour, but I'll go in there and type in what we actually did do, how we finished up the live stream, sadly. But about the half an hour, we finished with +7 on gold, +10 on crude, and +12 on the NQ. Break even on the ES. Okay, that's how we finished up this half hour. That is going to be in the YouTube part of it, and it's in this part too. So right now I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. And Dwayne, I'll type in those results down here at the bottom because, well, I can, but you can have it back out there now if you want, Dwayne. Okay, and there it goes. And Ray, if you are in here, I will set up that meeting that we're going to have very soon. And yeah, I'll do all that stuff. There you go. I can see your charts. I can't hear your voice though.
All right. Recap of the recap from the morning session.
This morning, 3 minutes, 2 trades, $300 a contract.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So while all that was going on, the markets took a little bit of a dive.
They did.
In fact, this was quite a sterling opportunity, as they say. So let's take another peek back at the daily chart. We're keeping with our theme of a major leg to the downside. Price has traded through blue and climbing. The day hasn't ended, so we need to see where the session ends. Now our potential support is at the 38% retracement, below of March 2nd, and then below January 19th. And if we break that low of January 19th, we'll be at the 50% fib retracement, run from the low of October 13th to the high of February 2nd. Bearish cross, we pulled back, tested the area of the bearish cross. It acted as good resistance as we anticipate. Now we've made it through blue and climbing. That was our first obstacle we talked about. Now we're headed for the second obstacle. There's number 3. There's number 4. And 50% fib, number 5. So on the ES, we hit not only the long target, short target. This price got below the VVC, and you had red and falling. Just really doesn't get much simpler than that. So where's price trying to go? Price is always trying to get to a weekly trading zone. Does it always make it? No. But is it always trying? Yes. Where's it trying to go? 39.43/44. And this low is 25. This is 48. And so 43, 44 going to be just below that 38%. It's going to be basically the low of that candle right there. On the Dow, same thing. That window of opportunity we drew in at the beginning of the broadcast on the Dow. There it went. Price sliced through the zone, retraced to the zone it sliced through, continued in the direction of the slice. That's how it works over and over, again and again. Russell, just continuing lower, heading for that lowest weekly zone at 18.25.26 we talked about. NQ, two-sided action, short target, long target, short target. It's all about where is price in relation to the VVC. If it's above, or is it below? Kind of like paint by numbers. Crude oil, attempting the short target. It has just barely taken out this obstacle. Question is, can it keep going? So there's a big window of opportunity here. Fall from roughly 75.90 down to 75.50. That's a $400 per contract window of opportunity. Gold, we've already been up to the zone once, resistance. We're at the zone again. If we overcome the zone, then here's potential resistance. Then you got lots of room to run to the upside to hit the next weekly trading zone. Price is always trying to get to a zone. Above the BVC, hit the zone. Pull back, hit the zone again. Now, we spiked, but we closed back below, so we got to overcome that swing high. And then that gives us a window up to the zone overhead. Use some patience. Let the trade come to you. Long target. Got red and falling here. Price is just consolidating at the BBC. The euro still stuck at the weekly zone. Remember, 70% of the time consolidation, 20% of the time rejection, 10% of the time slice. Up day, down day, slow day, fast day. Now, over the last 14 trading days, the average range from the low to the high of the S&P 500 E-mini futures, 54 points. Over the last 100 trading days, the average true range, low to the high of the session, 72 points. Keep that in mind. Remember to be in the members only workshop tonight and to have access, lifetime access with no recurring fees to everything we do, everything we've ever done, and whatever we do in the future. That includes the unlimited one-on-one private mentoring, the around-the-clock support, the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts, the indicators, the strategy, everything waiting for you at eminifuturestrading.com. Some of the audience today have probably lost more than what it costs to become a lifetime member. And it's not just buying a set of indicators, it's becoming a part of a vibrant community where there's always somebody around to lend a helping hand, to answer a question, to show you the way. Because everyone learns the exact same strategy using the exact same indicators with the exact same rules. There is strength in numbers, and numbers we have. So let's wrap it up with our good word of the day. Now, we've been talking about getting beyond the guesswork for 3 days. Today, it's time to pray. Psalm 51:7. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Do you remember when most restaurants had opening and closing hours? It was their schedule and not your appetite that decided whether you ate or went hungry. Not anymore. Now you can pop into many of your favorite eating places anytime your appetite hits. In fact, in most major cities, you don't even have to go get it. They'll bring it to you. Or a third party will bring it to you. Uber Eats or DoorDash. Now, that's kind of how God operates. He's available 24/7. And although praying isn't limited to set times, there are certain times when it's vital that you talk to God. Here's 2 of them. Number 1, when you have sinned. Your emotions of guilt and shame, plus Satan, accuser of the brethren, will tell you to avoid God. But turning to Him is the only solution to sin. When you screw up, don't run from God, run to God. You might be burdened by adultery, deception, even murder. King David was. And David realized he needed to confess his sin to God. In Psalm 51:7, purify me with hyssop, and I will be clean. Cleanse me, and I will be whiter than snow. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. John said God is faithful and just and will forgive us our sins and purify us from all unrighteousness. It's 1 John 1:9. So the question is, have you sinned? Of course you have. We all do. Just like Paul, the things we swear we don't want to do, we end up doing, and the things we swear we're going to do, we end up not doing. It's part of the human condition. It hasn't changed for thousands of years. When you're worried and afraid, you don't have to look too far to find things to worry about. They're all around you. Financial, professional, health, and family concerns can make you stressed out and anxious. Where do you turn? Prayer is God's answer to fear and anxiety. Philippians 4:6-7 teaches us, be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Now, also keep in mind the principle of sowing and reaping. When you sin, you confess your sin to God, and you repent, which means you turn and go in the other direction. And God is quick to forgive you of your sin. There's another layer here. Now, in Eastern religions, it's called karma. In the Christian religion, it's called sowing and reaping. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. When God forgives you of your sin, you are forgiven. As far as the east is from the west, God sees your sin no more. But in this life, in the physical, the human condition that we're all living in, that doesn't, God's forgiveness for your sin, which is important. Remember, you confess and repent. That's why Jesus said so many times, your faith has made you whole. Go and sin no more. But the bad seed that's been put in the ground, God's forgiven you for the bad seed you put in the ground, but what's that seed going to produce? The only thing you can do is get as much good seed in the ground as you possibly can, with God's help, by the power of the Holy Spirit. Because we're dealing with two very different issues here. Now, God's forgiveness, that's an eternal thing. Sowing and reaping is a temporary physical thing, but it must be dealt with. That's a good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.